2, 3, funky.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you guys are having a good day. And in today's video I'm going to go over basically functions and like how to divide, multiply, find a function and all that stuff. So let's just get started. Okay, so we're gonna start easy and then just like progress through like different types. So this is the first. Okay, given that g of x is equal to 5x minus 3, they're asking us to find g of negative 4. So that's basically the problem. Given that this is equal to this, and they're asking us to find what g of negative 4 is equal to. So basically the way you want to think about it is this is your x. So we're going to replace this with this. And so wherever you see x, you have to replace it with a negative 4. And so if you write down the equation, which is 5x minus 3, where do we see x? We see x right here. And so we're going to replace that with a negative 4. And then when you replace that, you multiply 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, and then minus 3, that is a negative 23. And that's your answer. And then let's move on to the next problem. And the next problem is saying f of x is equal to negative 4x squared minus 5x. And in this problem, they're asking us to find f of negative 5. And so basically the same thing that we just talked about. If this is being replaced by this, so wherever you see an x, you have to replace it with a negative 5. So negative 4, I see an x, so I'm going to put a negative 5 instead. And then put the squared. Minus 5, I see another x, so negative 5. And so this times this is 25. Minus 4 minus, when you multiply negative 5 times that, you should get a positive 25. And then when you put that, that's negative 100 plus 25, and that is equal to negative 75. So f of negative 5 would equal negative 75, and that is your answer. Okay, let's do another problem. I hate how you guys can hear me breathe. I don't know if you can hear me breathe, but I feel like you can. I don't like that. But anywho, so let's move on to the next problem. So basically this is saying f of x is equal to x plus 10, and then g of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 7. And they're asking us to find f in this thing. I don't know what it's called, but is there this little symbol right there. I don't remember. It's been a year since I've taken algebra 2. But yeah, so basically this is the same thing as f of g of x, I believe. I think this and this basically are the same thing. And so if you're trying to find what f of g of x is equal to, what you're going to do is f times g of x. Okay, so let me just, I feel like I just wrote the same thing, just like emphasizing it more. But so basically you're going to write your f of x, and you have to put your g of x into your f of x. So wherever you see an x, you have to replace it with your g of x, if that makes sense. So x squared plus 2x minus 7 plus 10. Because I saw x and I replaced it with your g of x, which is what you put inside your x, and then plus 10. So your answer will be x squared plus 2x plus 3. And that is your f of g of x. Okay. So let's move on to the next problem. So now we have to find f plus g of x. And let's just take a little moment, like a little break, to talk a little bit. I feel like this composition of function is only confusing to people because of the whole f of g of x and everything. Basically, it's honestly just the same as just adding x's and y's and, well, not y's, there's no y's, just x's and numbers and all that stuff. Because if they're asking you what f plus g of x is equal to, it's basically just saying, okay, what is this equation plus this equation equal to? And I feel like it just confuses people, and it shouldn't, because it's basically the same thing, but now they're giving you two different functions and saying add it together. But people are confused by the whole f of x and g of x thing. But anyways, let's get back to solving these problems. So now you have f of x is equal to, I'm sorry, I have to look at my computer to see the problems, minus 17x plus 72, and then g of x is equal, I'm going to put this down a little bit, and then g of x is equal to x minus 9, and then they're asking us to find f plus g of x. So we're going to take f plus g of x. So we're not replacing any numbers, we're just adding the two functions. And so that's going to be x squared minus 17x plus 72. That's your f plus x minus 9. And that's your g of x. So x is going to remain x. But if they had said -1, then we would replace all the x's with -1. But they didn't, so it's just going to remain x. So when you combine your like terms, x squared negative 17 plus that is negative 16x, and then let's get the calculator at the end of the day, and no, okay, plus 63, and that's your answer. Okay, next problem, we are trying to find f of g of -3. Okay, I feel like these are the easiest, honestly, but let's get into it. So we know that f of x, let me make sure you guys can see. Okay, f of x is equal to -x plus 9. And then g of x is equal to 2x squared plus 6x minus 1. And then they're asking us to find f of g of -3. So f of g of -3. So basically you want to work inside out. And so first we have to find what g of -3 is before we can find what f of that is. So you want to plug this into every x you see instead of x, because normally it's g of x, but then when you have a number you have to replace all the x's with that number. So you have 2 -3 squared plus 6 -3 minus 1. I'm just going to plug it in, because your calculator is really your best friend here. Just make sure you put it in right though, because if you don't put it in right, there's nobody to blame but yourself. So it's a -1. So then now that we know what g of -3 is, we have to find what f of -1 would be. So -1, well, it could be -1, but that's confusing. So negative parentheses -1 plus 9. I refuse to do that. 10. So your answer is 10. So f of g of -3 is equal to 10. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. So now we have to find f of x times g of x. So we know that f of x is equal to x squared minus 13x plus 30. And we know that g of x is equal to x minus 3. And we're trying to multiply the two. So f of x times g of x. Again, this is why I'm telling y'all it's not as confusing as it might look, because basically you guys have done multiplication of these numbers before, and it's basically just the same thing, but with f of x and g of x and all that. So now we have to do, and I am not about to do this the normal way, so I'm just going to do mine with the box method. Hold on, I'm making all the mistakes, excuse me. I'm just going to do mine with the box method and stuff, because I really don't want to do this in my head. Well, not in my head, but like the normal way where you like FOIL and all that stuff. So this times this is x to the third power, negative 3x squared minus 13x squared plus 30x, negative 90, 39? Yeah, 39. And so when you combine your like terms, x squared minus 16x squared, I forgot the x. Yeah, and that should be your answer. Okay, so then let's move on to the next problem. And this one is basically asking you to multiply. So let's do another one. So we know that f of x is equal to x squared plus 4x minus 60. And g of x is equal to x minus 6. And then they want us to multiply that. So f of x times g of x. Okay, so x minus 6. Oh, that's too high. And then that should be your answer. I don't know why I keep putting on a British accent, like, y'all did not see that. That's embarrassing. Okay, I don't know why I keep doing that, but your answer should be x cubed minus 2x squared minus 84x plus 360. And then we have 2 more problems. Okay, so we have to find f of 4 on a graph, and it's really easy to find stuff on a graph. I lied when I said that other one might be the easiest. This actually might be the easiest. Now I just have to figure out how I'm going to draw this graph for you guys. Okay, let's, not an artist, promise you that. We can't all be good at everything. But, okay, let's see, let's say that this is, girl, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Okay, let's say you're trying to find 4, and this is 4. All you have to do is trace it down until you get here on a point on the graph, and you just have to trace it to the y-axis. And whatever your number right here is, that's your answer. So basically, let me show you guys on my computer, and then, because obviously Pelumi doesn't know how to draw, and it wasn't even focused, so great. Okay, so here's the graph or whatever, and so basically this is f of 4 right here, and so what you want to do is trace it down. So if the graph was up here, you would trace it up to wherever you touch the line on the graph, but it's down here, so you trace it down to where it touches on the graph, and then you trace it to the y-axis, and whatever your y is would be your answer. So for f of 4, it's -2. If you're trying to find let's see, 0, you would trace it all the way down to -6. The answer would be -6. If you're trying to find -8, you would trace it down to -2, and that would be your answer. So all you gotta do is find the point on the x-axis, and you trace it down to wherever the line is, and whatever that's equal to on the y is your answer. Alrighty, so for the last part of, not the last part, for the last question of the video, we have to do division. And I feel like a lot of people are not very comfortable with division, but here we are anyways, with them making it even more complicated. But you know, it's math, they always got something new. So we know that f of x is equal to x squared minus 19x plus 20, and g of x is equal to x minus 9. And now they want us to divide f of x divided by g of x, and express the result in standard form. So f of x divided by this is the same as f of x divided by this. So f of x is x squared minus 19x plus 90 divided by x minus 9. And I feel like a simple way for you guys to easily just solve this problem. Why wasn't I focused? Okay, a simple way would be for you to factor the top and just cancel out numbers. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So put your x's Okay, so what's the numbers multiplies give you 90 but adds give you negative 19? That would be negative 10 and negative 9. If you add those two together, it should give you negative 19. If you multiply, it should give you a positive 90. And so divided by x minus 9. Do you see two factors you could cancel out? Yes, you do. This and this. And your answer is x minus 10. That is a easy, simple way for you to divide functions. And that's it, literally that's it. I'll try to find another example for you guys, and then we can wrap up this video. Alrighty, so we found another example. Well, I found another example. So we have f of x. Okay, f of x is equal to x squared minus 5x minus 36, and g of x is equal to x plus 4. And now they want us to divide. Okay, so just ignore the mess I made. I accidentally let's move on. So they want us to divide f of x by g of x, and so I just wanted to point out that I don't know if this happens all of the time, but from the problems I've done so far, I've noticed that usually the number you're dividing with is easily able to be canceled out when you factor it. So if you're having a difficult time trying to factor, simply look at the number and make it one of your factors. So like when I was trying to factor out x squared minus 19x was 90, I could have just looked at negative 9 and made it, would I make it positive? I don't know. But I could have just looked at the 9 and like put it in the back of my head like, okay, I need a 9 in my factor, so I would look for another number that would multiply to give me 90 with a 9, so that would be 10, and I could just go from there. So it kind of makes it easier on you, but you know, whatever works best. So now we have x squared minus 5x minus 36 divided by x plus 4. So what I was saying before, I would look at the 4 and be like, okay, 36 divided by 4, that would be 9, and then so I could just use 9. So x plus 4 and then x minus 9, because 9 times 4, negative 9 times 4 is negative 36, and then negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So then I would divide that by x plus 4. Those will cancel out, and your answer will be x minus 9. And that would be your answer. And that is the end of the video, and I hope you guys found this video helpful and you learned something new, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. Given I don't know, given, you know what, okay, so we know that g of x is equal to, already the voice cracks already.